Welcome to DTF Watch This. These are the episodes where we tell you movies that we enjoy that we think you should watch too. Today we're going to be doing Look Who's Talking because today's a special day. I'm going to be introducing my little girl, Aurora, here just shortly.
And I would introduce Sebastian, but he's on a walk because he's napping on his little walk. So we'll introduce him at another one.
Sean Marcus baby reveal at 500 subs.
Yeah, exactly. When we get 500 subscribers, then I'll reveal my cute little baby.
But until then, you just got to assume that he has a baby.
Until then, assume someone found me attractive enough to have sex with me to procreate and have a baby.
Exactly. So I'm actually going to go grab her right now, and then I'll actually do the show with her on it. So be right back here.
And now I sit and wait. Maybe I'll sing you a song. Hopefully Austin's not too long. I haven't watched the movie King Kong.
5 hours later.
Beep, boop, beep, boop. Come on, baby.
1 eternity later.
Let's bring the little one in here.
Oh, there she is.
So many things.
Oh. Hi, Aurora Lynn.
This is our little baby Aurora. She just zonked out. She got her first actual bath today. We've just been sponge bathing her this whole time. So
I remember when Sebastian was that tiny.
This is the first time you've actually seen her though, besides in pictures.
Yep.
So, man, fatherhood, parenthood
is
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So all the garbage I've been giving Sean Marcus this whole time about not getting stuff done, I apologize.
You haven't even begun to understand. But, I've been sleeping on the couch for the last basically 2 months because we're really trying to get him fully sleep trained.
She's definitely not sleep trained. As soon as that door closes, when Diana goes to bed, her eyes just open up.
Where'd you go, Mama? Where'd you go?
We decided to do Look Who's Talking because I remember watching this movie when I was a kid and just thought it was hilarious. And I forgot that you got John Travolta in it. You got Kirstie Alley. You got Bruce Willis in this playing the voice of the baby, which is just kind of funny.
I mean, who would have thought John McClane would be doing the voice
right?
of a baby? But he does it so well.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know how early into or how late this was into Bruce Willis's career.
This is pretty late in his career. I mean,
because it came out in 1989.
Yeah, and Die Hard came out before that, I believe. Wasn't Die Hard like 88?
I wonder, was that did he do comedy stuff before?
Oh man, he had done like Moonlighting and other TV shows.
I didn't know if he was trying to transfer it. I guess I just don't know Bruce Willis's career life.
And he'd been in a bunch of movies.
But it was kind of funny hearing him as a baby. And then John Travolta is just, I don't know, he's always nice to see in movies, especially his early stuff. He's a fun character in this. So essentially, Kirstie Alley plays Molly. Molly gets pregnant on accident through kind of an affair that, she's not with anybody, but she was the second woman in the affair with one of her clients.
Well, are you having an affair if you're the one doing?
I mean, you're involved in
an affair, but you're not having an affair.
You're not having an affair. So he's having the affair. She's involved in the affair, but she ends up getting pregnant. And then the dude's just a dick and makes her basically makes her, strings her along for one, saying, "Oh, I'm going to split up with my wife and all this." But, he's not going to.
Ladies, if a guy says he's leaving his wife, he's not. Don't fall for that. Be smarter. Move on to a good guy, but not us because we're taken.
I don't know. This movie was just fun because I think just talking to her all the time, it kind of reminded me of that, listening to Bruce Willis play all the little thoughts that, we all think our babies have.
I mean, ever since Sebastian was born, even more so than throughout my entire life, I'm always like, what the hell are they thinking right now? Like, they're smiling or they're grumpy or they're, whatever. And you're like, what is going through your head? Like, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm making silly faces. Like, do you think I'm a tool or do you think I'm funny?
Probably. I don't even know if Bruce Willis was given a script, honestly. When you watch it,
I don't think so.
He literally just
Yeah.
says whatever the baby's doing in the moment.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to do this. Hey, you look kind of goofy. Like, oh, you're smiling at me. I like you.
Yeah. Or like when the baby's standing there and leaning into the grandfather and just like grabs his eyebrows,
Yeah.
and he's just like, oh, what are those fuzzy things on your head?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think he got a script. I think he just, or maybe he got a script of what the movie was going to be. And then here's the story.
Yeah, I feel like most of it was him just ad-libbing. That's what it felt like. And then they probably gave him direction on, because they needed the baby to obviously like James, which is John Travolta's character, a bit more. Did you have like a favorite moment or anything that stood out to you?
Yeah. So the scene where she's trying to make him a bottle and she's making coffee and she's so tired that she pours coffee into the bottle. I don't think you fully have gotten to that really tired stage yet. You're about to.
Yeah.
But I think I had told you that when we were doing the bottle feeding, Stacy was pumping, and he was feeding basically every hour and a half, 2 hours. And so throughout the night, you'd lay him down, he'd fall asleep. We'd have to go clean the bottles and do this and prep all the pump milk and blah, blah, blah. And then we'd finally get to sleep and we'd sleep like a half an hour and then he'd be waking up again. And so it was like that, just boom, half hour, half hour, half hour. And so you're such a zombie that you have to set this alarm. And I picked up my phone because the alarm was going off. And I'm like, trying to turn the alarm off, like, why isn't it working? And I was so tired, I hadn't even picked up the phone. I just had my hand and I was just swiping my hand like it was the phone.
Yeah, I've been pretty tired like the first few nights. It's been sporadic, but I've been pretty tired, but I haven't swiped my hand or anything. But it does get pretty exhausting.
But yeah, that scene just kind of boils down exactly how, boom, unaware you are of your surroundings and how much of a zombie you become from no sleep.
Yeah. The part that I think I felt the most was just when James is sitting and talking to the baby just about mom and all that stuff and just little things. I think I like that because I love talking to her a lot and just making up little stories and saying, yeah, tell me more about it. Like if she's crying, I'm like, tell me more about how hard your life's been and like what's been going on today. Just there's a lot of cool and funny moments in that, but that one's the one that just connected with me the most.
I did that to Sebastian today when we were going to this, Lucas's, the middle kids football game. And it was just big to do about, making sure we had everything and we were running late and all this stuff. And, Stacy was getting flustered and she goes running back into the house because she's like, you didn't mix this right and blah, blah, blah. And I look back at him, she runs into the house and I look back at Sebastian in this car seat and this mirror. And I'm like, just prepare yourself for in life, you will never be right. And just close your mouth and agree with whatever your wife is saying.
Right. And that's what I got to do. Just agree to whatever this little one says.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got 2 women in my life now. So
yeah, it'll be fun to see how these two differ growing up wise, since you've got a girl and I've got a boy.
I already know one thing that I really appreciate is that having a girl, one of the first few times I changed her, had the diaper open, I'm getting everything ready, and then a stream of pee comes out, but it just goes, it's like this little water fountain thing. And I'm like, oh, thank you. You can't, since you don't have a penis, you can't just like blast me in the face with a hose or anything.
I've never been blasted, luckily. It has like gotten on me. Luckily I've never like held him up without a diaper or something and just like gotten hosed.
Yeah, I carried her from this room into like the living room. I don't remember why. And all of a sudden I just felt this warm stream going down my arm. I'm like, oh no, she just peed all over me. Like, take her really quick.
Sebastian does this thing where you'll change his diaper.
Yeah.
His pee diaper. And within 2 minutes of changing the diaper, he will poop. And you're like, Oh,
yeah.
why couldn't you have done that before? Now I got to change you again.
A lot of times, if she's only peed, I will leave the diaper under there and I'll just move her legs a little bit and just to wait and see if she'll start pooping. Because, yeah, I've definitely had that time where I thought I was safe, pull the diaper out, and then she's just like, I'm like, oh, you're pooping everywhere. And that's one thing about being a parent or a dad is I get excited when she poops. I'm like, hey, finally, like you pooped. Like if she hadn't pooped in the whole day and weird little stuff like that. Things you never would have thought. And then
you will never talk about poop more than you will for the rest couple of years.
And I never thought like I'd be okay watching someone else actively poop in front of me. I'm like, and I'll talk to her doing that too. I'm like, you done? Like, is that all you got in there? Wiggle the legs a little bit.
We were giving Sebastian a bath and he'd been all constipated. And so he's in the bath and then he's like relaxing. He's like, oh, this warm water. And all of a sudden it just starts coming out. And Stacy's like, oh, crap, give me some. She's like, holding it. And like once that plug came out, that constipation plug, I was just like, oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
When we were watching it, Stacy started laughing at the title sequence, the opening sequence. She goes, oh, man, I went to see this when I was a kid. And she went with her mom and her little brother, younger brother. And BJ was, I think, 7 at the time. And the scene where the sperm comes in?
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting there in the movie theater and he's like, Mom, look, tadpoles.
I mean, kinda. That whole scene was funny. And the baby is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Like that thing looks terrible.
Yeah.
Diana was saying that Diana was saying that her mom, saw the movie a long time ago too. Like they saw it in the theater. And her mom was convinced that all of that stuff was real and all that stuff. I'm like, it's way too bright in there. Actually, the whole sperm scene does look pretty like cool and like kind of convincing of just like, when you see the top down, like microscopic view of it all, like they did a really good job with that. Now the baby itself, that thing's just creepy looking in there, but it looked like they actually used a real baby though on the birth. So they cut the cord and everything.
Yeah. And that was also funny when he's like in the womb and he looks down. He's like, oh, what is that? Sebastian did that a couple days ago. He just finally discovered it like in the shower. He's like, oh, what is this? But he like yanks on it. It's like, dude, don't yank like that.
They're like, oh, about this time we can tell like for sure if it's a boy or the gender and all that. And then he looks down. He's like, oh, I got another arm growing in there. I wonder how I'm going to put that in my mouth.
Yeah, they want to put everything in their mouths.
I think if you're having a baby or you already had a little one, and I think you just appreciate it. It's just fun, especially because, man, it's so hard to watch a movie or a show right now with her being this little. She just sucks all the attention out. And, it's even something you can just have on in the background and just get a little bit of laughs here and the little baby talk from Bruce Willis, I think. So
yeah, it's worth a rewatch if you've already watched it. And if you haven't watched it and you've got a kid, like you said, definitely watch it.
I think if you don't have a kid, it's probably going to be a little bit rough for you, but I think you'll appreciate it a little bit more if you do have a kid.
But I mean, I liked it when I was.
I did too, but I think I appreciate it a little bit more. I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
Just wanted to do a little baby reveal and do a cool little movie that we watched when we were younger and just see how it related now. And I still think you should definitely go watch it. So hit up all our socials.
Subscribe.
Hit the subscribe button like Sean Marcus just said. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have my baby on the next one.
Yeah. See you next time. Peace.